So in the previous video we have seen about acids and bases. So now we will see about how we can identify acids, bases. So we can identify the acids and bases by conducting certain physical and chemical tests, that is physical test or acid base reactions. So you can see that physical test can be performed to identify an acid and a base. So based on that you have taste test and by use of indicators. Taste test is very dangerous. You cannot directly use the acids and bases and taste it to understand whether it is an acid and taste, but taste it, but you can understand that acid tastes always sour. So everyday life you will be using certain acids, that is citric acid in lime or lemon, and you have curd. You have tasted curd, that is you might have tasted it to be sour, that is lactic acid in it. And you can understand that bases tastes bitter. You might have tasted the bitter gourd for it. So this method of finding out whether the substance or a chemical or a solution is an acid or a base is not advisable, because it can be corrosive and also very dangerous and can get contaminated. So next method that we are using chemically or in laboratory method is the use of indicators. So you can see that. So indicators are chemical substances, that is it shows either the physical change in the particular solution. Mainly you can identify the particular substance or a solution to be an acid or a base by the change in its color or odor, the smell, and it can be understood when we bring these into contact with the acid or a base. So we will start with the test of acid and base by use of litmus paper. So we all might have seen, or you all might have seen, that litmus paper, it's an easy way of understanding or differentiating the acid and a base. So here you can see that a solution, an unknown solution is given to identify whether the given solution is an acid or a base. So you have two different types of litmus paper. It is red and blue, wherein you use red litmus paper for the alkalis and blue litmus paper for finding out the acids. If you are not knowing whether it is an acid or a base, you will be using both the litmus paper to understand whether it is an acid or a base. So here you can see that the use of blue litmus paper has turned the acid into red. So when an acid turns or the solution turns red, it is acidic in nature. And basic solution wherein you can see that red litmus turns to blue, it is known as basic in nature, or base is also known as alkali, as you are seeing here. And when it is a neutral solution, it is neither an acid or a base, the litmus paper remains same, that is it turns to purple. So you can see that an acid turns moist litmus paper to red. When it turns to red, it is an acid. When it turns to blue, it is a base. So next indicator that we would be using to differentiate or to understand the given solution is an acid or a base is methyl orange. So here in the figure you can see that a solution when added with methyl orange have turned to red in color is acidic solution. So you can see in the previous litmus paper test also we have seen that acidic solution turns blue litmus into red. Here also you can see that acid is turning to red and the pH will be less than 5. Here the pH given as 2. So you will understand the base here, that the base solution after adding methyl orange will turn to yellow, that is pH is 7. So here most of the basic solution and neutral solution will be of the same color, and you can see that it's alkaline in nature, nearing to alkaline in nature. Neutral solution also shows yellow or rarely orange in color. So next we can see that use of phenolphthalein indicator. So phenolphthalein indicator is almost colorless solution. So you can see that when you add this indicator to an unknown solution, this almost remains colorless when it is acidic in nature. So neutral solution also remains colorless, that is acidic solution also remains colorless, but the difference is that the color changes and turns to pink. So you can see here that the colorless solution slightly turning to pink, and it is almost turning to pink, and here you can differentiate between an acid and a base solution. So base is pink in color and acid is colorless. So till now we have seen the physical properties of identifying whether an acid or a base by using the use of indicators, litmus, methyl orange, and use of phenolphthalein indicator. Now we will understand the chemical properties of acids. So acids might react with many metals, non-metals, etc. to give rise to certain products. So we can understand now that when an acid, here it's a general formula, this you need to keep in mind, that acid plus metal. So acid when reacts with metal will always give rise to salt and release of hydrogen gas. So here we can take an example. So acid plus metal. So nitric acid plus calcium has given rise to calcium nitrate, and calcium nitrate is a salt and release of hydrogen. So salt here as per the example, based on the metal that you are using and the acid you are using, the product is formed. It is not always that calcium nitrate is only formed. Here we are seeing the example of nitric acid and calcium. Here calcium nitrate, based on the reactants. We have seen that calcium nitrate is produced. So we can see here that nitric acid and calcium on the left hand side is the reactants. The right hand side formed salt and hydrogen. It is next to the arrow mark, that is right hand side. Whatever is formed is the product from the reactants. So to understand if metals react with an acid, there is an experiment. Here you will be using zinc granules in a test tube, and you have added dilute sulfuric acid. You have sealed the test tube with a cork, and there is a delivery tube that is passing through the soap solution. So you can see that the gas evolution of hydrogen gas when zinc granules react with dilute sulfuric acid. So we have already seen that acid reacts with metal to give rise to salt and release of hydrogen gas. So you can see that the hydrogen gas passes through and reaches the soap solution, and soap filled with bubbles is the hydrogen. So now you will be trying to know how to understand if a hydrogen is released or not. To that we will conduct a small experiment, or we will understand the presence of hydrogen, wherein you bring a candle, lighted candle near the bubble, and you will see the burning of hydrogen gas with a pop sound. So when pop sound comes, you can see that everywhere when a pop sound you hear, it is the release or the presence of hydrogen gas. So next we will see reaction of metal carbonates with acids. So as we had told that metals react with salt to give rise to, so metals react with acids to give rise to salt and hydrogen. Here also we can see that acid reacts with metal carbonate. Previously we had seen acid reacts with metal to give rise to salt and hydrogen. Here there is a slight difference in the reactant side. You can see that when an acid reacts with metal carbonate, gives rise to, or it reacts to form salt and release water, and also what type of gas is released here? It is carbon dioxide that is released. So previously we had seen that to test the presence of hydrogen gas, you bring a lighted candle near it and you heard a pop sound. But how to understand or to know that the presence of carbon dioxide now? So here you can see that calcium carbonate and hydrochloric acid has been taken and there is a release of carbon dioxide, and in another test tube you have taken lime water. So when carbon dioxide gets dissolved in lime water, you can see that lime water turns milky. So when lime water turns milky, you can see that carbon dioxide is present, or carbon dioxide is the gas released. So next we will see reaction of metal hydrogen carbonate with acid. So here also there is no difference as the previous one, metal carbonate. Here also we can see that acid plus metal hydrogen carbonate also gives rise to product salt, water and carbon dioxide. So the same test we will be performing, that you will pass the carbon dioxide or presence, carbon dioxide of presence is found out by passing the gas that is produced through a lime water and it turns milky. So here in this figure you can see that sodium carbonate is taken and you are adding dilute hydrochloric acid. There is a reaction undergone and carbon dioxide gas is released, and this carbon dioxide is passed to calcium hydroxide solution. So it also turns milky. So you can see that presence or test for presence of carbon dioxide is done by lime water test, and presence of hydrogen is through bringing a candle to hear a pop sound. So next is acid and base reaction with each other. So we have seen a separate reaction of acids with metals, metal carbonates, metal hydrogen carbonates. Now we will know that what happens when acid and base togetherly come and there is a reaction between them. So here you can see that an acid, so say for example HCl, hydrogen ion, so Cl minus, so chlorine combine together to form hydrochloric acid. Here in the base, sodium metal and hydroxide ions together form sodium hydroxide. It is a base. So when acid, that is hydrochloric acid and sodium hydroxide combine together, you can see that this sodium as a metal, so you can see sodium as a metal combines with the halogen. So chlorine is a halogen. So sodium as a metal and a halogen combines to form a salt, that is sodium chloride, and what is left out here, that is OH from sodium hydroxide and H from hydrochloric acid. These two combine together to release water. So you can see that when an acid and a base are placed together, they react to neutralize. They form neutralization reaction. What type of reaction it is? It is neutralization reaction, and they form the product salt. So here H plus, that is cation. So wherever here you can see that plus comes, that is acid. We have already discussed in the previous videos that wherever plus comes, it is giving its electrons. Wherever minus comes, it's always negative, and negative always takes the electrons. So you can see that acid gives its electrons and bases take the electrons. So it combines. Here there is a combination of acid and a base to form salt and water. So the compound formed by cation of base and anion of acid is called salt. So let's understand more about neutralization reactions. So there are different types of chemical reaction that can neutralize an acid. An acid can be neutralized, and generally they can be neutralized by the use of a base. So there are three types of bases. Always you should keep in mind, that is metal hydroxides. So metal hydroxide, here you can see the example, sodium is a metal hydroxide. Metal hydroxides also forms as a base. It is also known as alkalis. So lithium oxide, that is metal oxide. Lithium is a metal and it forms oxides, lithium oxide. Then you get neutralization reaction by use of metal carbonates. Metal carbonates is calcium carbonate. Calcium is a metal, and carbonate, potassium hydroxide. So what happens here? Hydrochloric acid. So sodium hydroxide, when reacts with hydrochloric acid, NaOH plus HCl, it gives rise to sodium chloride, that is NaCl. So you can see that, and water is released. So lithium oxide and sulfuric acid gives rise to lithium sulfate. Calcium carbonate, when reacts with nitric acid, gives rise to calcium nitrate. So you can see that. So for easy remembering, you can see lithium and sulfuric togetherly formed lithium sulfate. So calcium and nitric acids, nitric, combined to form calcium nitrates. So potassium and phosphoric combined to form potassium phosphate. So next we will see reaction of metallic oxides with acids. So metallic oxides react with acids. These also gives rise to salt and water. So for example, like copper oxide, when diluted with hydrochloric acid, what happens here is the color of solution becomes blue-green due to formation of copper chloride. So they form copper oxide plus hydrochloric acid. CuO plus HCl gives rise to copper oxide, CuO, and also the release of water. So this also proves that metallic oxides are basic oxides. So whenever basic oxides are asked, there is another name. Basic oxides are also known as metallic oxide, because when they react with acid, they give rise to salt and water. So here you can see that copper oxide, CuO, when combined with HCl, that is hydrochloric acid, gives rise to CuCl2, that is copper chloride, and release of water. Here you can see copper oxide is black in color, and when HCl, you add HCl to copper chloride, you get copper chloride, that is bluish green in color, and also release of water. So now we had seen that what happens when a metallic oxide reacts with an acid. Now we will see when non-metallic oxide reacts with a base. So non-metallic oxides, they react with non-metals. That is, non-metals reacts with oxygen. They react with a base to give rise to salt and water. Here also the product is the same. Metallic oxide, when reacted with acid, they also give rise to salt and water. Here also non-metallic oxide, that is, what happens here is non-metals, when in reaction with oxygen, they react with, when in close contact with oxygen, they react with base, they also give rise to salt and water. So we'll consider an example here. that is calcium hydroxide CaOH twice plus carbon dioxide, that is non-metallic oxide, they gives rise to calcium carbonate, that is CaCO3, and also water. So we will see some important reactions with certain examples. So initially we had seen that acid plus metal. So when acid reacts with metal, they give rise to salt and hydrogen. Like for example, copper, when reacts with hydrochloric acid, they give rise to copper chloride and hydrogen. You can see here the equation, Cu plus HCl gives rise to CuCl2 plus H2, that is hydrogen is the gas released. So we have already seen the test for hydrogen, the sound, pop-up sound test, by bringing the lighted candle near the hydrogen gas. So here reaction of acid we will see. Here the acids used are hydrochloric acid, nitric acid and H2SO4, that is sulfuric acid, and metal used are iron, zinc and magnesium. So you can see what happens here. We have already seen that hydrogen, you need to remove the hydrogen, gas is released at the last. So when you combine the metal iron with hydrochloric acid, you get FeCl. So Fe from here and Cl from here, you add up and you will get, it's easy to form the compound here, ferric chloride. And what is released? The hydrogen is missing here, hydrogen is getting released as the gas. So here you can see that nitric acid, FeNO3 twice. So twice has come due to the valency of the electron, the calculation of valency of electrons. So you can see here that FeNO3 twice and hydrogen is the gas released. Here the next, sulfuric acid, iron reacts with sulfuric acid to give rise to FeSO4, and what gas is released? Here also hydrogen is released. Next we will see about zinc. Zinc also reacts with HCl to form zinc chloride, the salt zinc chloride, and hydrogen gas is released. When it reacts with nitric acid, it forms zinc nitrate, that is ZnNO3 twice, and zinc when reacts with sulfuric acid, that is H2SO4, also gives rise to zinc sulfate. So next we will see the metal magnesium. Magnesium symbol is Mg. So you can see that magnesium reacts with hydrochloric acid to give rise to MgCl. Here we can see that Mg, that is magnesium, reacts with nitric acid, gives rise to magnesium nitrate. So magnesium also reacts with sulfuric acid to give rise to magnesium sulfate, and in all these reactions you can see that the gas released is hydrogen. So we can understand the symbols here. Fe is for iron, Zn is for zinc, Mg is for magnesium. So acids used are HCl is for hydrochloric acid, HNO3 is known as nitric acid, H2SO4 is known as sulfuric acid. So next we will see acid plus metal oxide gives rise to salt and water. Previously we have already discussed this. So just going through with the example, hydrochloric acid when reacts with copper oxide gives rise to copper chloride and water. So HCl plus CuO, CuO is copper oxide, it gives rise to CuCl2. So CuCl2. So you might be thinking how Cl2 came. So copper's valency is 2, that has been cross multiplied to give rise to Cl2 and water. So next is acid when reacts with metal carbonate gives rise to salt, water and carbon dioxide. Here hydrochloric acid and copper carbonate, they togetherly react to give rise to copper chloride, water, and carbon dioxide is released. So you can see here the equation. Hydrochloric acid is written as HCl, copper carbonate is written as CuCO3, copper chloride is CuCl2, water as usual as H2O, and carbon dioxide as CO2. Acid plus metal hydrogen carbonate also gives rise to salt, water, and carbon dioxide. So here we can see the example. Hydrochloric acid combines with sodium bicarbonate gives rise to sodium chloride, water, and carbon dioxide. So sodium bicarbonate is written as NaHCO3 and hydrochloric acid is HCl, that is aqueous solution. These are taken in. So whenever an acid is added to water, it is known as an aqueous solution, or a base added to water, it is known as aqueous solution. So there is a caution where whenever you are adding an acid, you should never take acid in a beaker and then add water to it. So there might be an accidental spillage, or it will have a more reaction than taking water in a beaker and adding through the sides the acid. So always you should follow the method of adding an acid by taking water, that is whatever amount you are taking for say 100 ml of water, and the prepared solution to be formed, to water you will be adding the acid, not that to acid you will be adding water. This major precaution you must be taking whenever you are conducting an experiment. Important reactions next is acid and base. We have already discussed that it forms a neutralization reaction. Acid, when reacts with a base, gives rise to salt and water. Here is an example. Sodium hydroxide, when reacts with hydrochloric acid, gives rise to a salt, sodium chloride, that is common salt, and water. So you can see the equation that sodium hydroxide aqueous and HCl is going to give rise to NaCl plus H2O. So important reactions to remember till now. Whatever we have learned, it has been put in together so that it will be easy for learning. So acid, when reacts with metal, gives rise to salt plus hydrogen. Hydrogen is the gas released. Acid plus metal hydroxide. So acid reacts with metal hydroxide to give rise to salt and water. Acid, when reacts with metal oxide, it will give rise to product salt plus water again. So acid, metal, carbonate reacts together to give rise to salt, water, and there is a release of carbon dioxide. So acid reacts with metal hydrogen carbonate to give rise to salt, water, and carbon dioxide. Here also there is a release of carbon dioxide. Acid plus base gives rise to salt and water. So let's understand now the difference between a base and an alkali. So base undergo neutralization reaction when they combine with an acid. They consist of metal oxides, as we have discussed before, metal hydroxides, metal carbonates, metal bicarbonates. So here you can see in the figure that alkalis are bases, means they are not dissolved in water, Bases are called alkalis when they are soluble in water. Bases are almost insoluble in water. Bases soluble in water, they are known as alkali. So alkalis, their bases, they are soluble in water. So most of them bases are insoluble in water. The bases that are soluble in water are known as alkali. So now we will understand what is an alkali. Alkali is an aqueous solution of a base. So mainly they are metallic hydroxides. So we have already seen metallic hydroxides reaction, final product is salt. So you can see that it also dissolves in water and it splits to gives rise to hydroxide ion. All alkalis are bases. So you can see that a base when dissolved or can be dissolved in water, it is known as an alkali, but alkalis cannot be a base. So now we will know strength of acids and bases, that is strong acid or a base. So here in the figure you can see weak acid and a strong acid. A represents the acid and H plus represents hydroxide ions. So weak acid, what is the difference between a strong acid and a weak acid? So when molecules of a given amount, wherein a base or an acid, molecules of an acid or a base, when they are able to completely dissolve in water and also release hydrogen ions, that is H plus ions for acid and hydroxide ions are released for the base in an aqueous solution. Aqueous solution, anything dissolved in water forms an acid or a base dissolved in water forms the aqueous solution. They are known as strong acid or a base or weak acid or a base. So when they are called as weak acid, so weak acid consists of less number of hydrogen ions. So as per the volume of the solution, there will be very less number of hydrogen ions and has higher pH, that is hydrogen ion concentration, than the strong acid. Here it's thus the opposite of the weak acid, that is it has more hydrogen ions per unit and has very low pH. So next we will see weak acid or a base. So here what happens is a very few molecules of the given amount of acid or a base will be able to dissociate or dissolve into the water to give rise to hydrogen ions or hydroxide ions. Hydrogen ions are always released by the acids and hydroxide ions are released by the base. So let's know the difference between weak base and a strong base. Here in the figure we can see that OH minus represents hydroxide ions and B plus represents the base. So here you can see that there are very less number of hydrogen ions with respect to the solution for a weak base, but here pH is also very less with respect to the strong base. It's just the opposite for the strong base, wherein you can see that OH minus ions per volume of a solution has more number of hydroxide ions and has high pH with respect to the weak base. So let's understand about dilute acid and a concentrated acid. So always we know that with respect to number of hydrogen ions per unit volume, you can see that whether it is a dilute acid or a concentrated acid, there is only a slighter difference that when there is less number of hydroxide ions in water, that is aqueous solution, you can say that it is a dilute acid. When there is more number of hydrogen ions with respect to the unit volume of the water, you can say that that is a concentrated acid. You can see here So there is more amount of water and less number of hydrogen ions. There is, in diluted acid, there will be more amount of water and less amount of acid. Here there is less amount of water and more amount of acid. So in base also it's the same thing, that you can see that a dilute base will have very less amount of hydroxide ions and also has very low pH. But in case of concentrated base, there will be more number of hydroxide ions. So that completes the session. Salts, next topic on salts will be continued in the next video. Thank you.